What's up, everybody? It's Tony from GOREHOUNds of Horror, and I want to talk to you about some facts that you might not have known about my favorite Jason movie, Friday the 13th, Part 2.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
The first adult version of Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees went from deceased child to full-grown man for Friday the 13th Part 2, and Warrington Gillette was hired to play the role. Gillette auditioned for the role of Paul. That role eventually went to John Fury. Under the belief that he had attended the Hollywood stuntman school, Gillette was offered the role of Jason Voorhees. Initially, he was unsure about the character, but the idea of starring in his first film grew on him. Eventually, it became apparent that Gillette could not perform the necessary stunts, so the stunt coordinator, Cliff Cudney, brought in Steve Dash. Steve filmed all of the scenes except the opening sequence and the unmasking shot at the end. Gillette then later returned for the unmasking scenes. Gillette received credit for playing Jason, while Dash was given credit as a stunt double. When Part 3 was released the following year, Dash was credited as Jason for the reused footage from the climax of the film. Initially, Dash was asked to return for the role for Part 3, but it would have required him to pay for his own transportation and housing during filming. Having then secured a part on Guiding Light, he declined to return.
Friday the 13th Part 2 was almost X-rated.
Like its predecessor, Friday the 13th Part 2 had difficulty receiving an R rating from the MPAA. Upon reviewing the film, the Classification and Rating Administration warned Paul Hager, an executive at Paramount, that the accumulation of violence throughout the film may still lead to an X rating. A total of 48 seconds had to be cut from the film in order to avoid an X rating. This film received a deluxe DVD release in February 2009, but the edited footage was not included. Most noted by censors was the murder scene of Jeff and Sandra, who are impaled by a spear while having sex in a bed. Which the censors had found particularly graphic. After Paramount discovered actress Marta Kober was underage, a scene showing her with full frontal nudity was completely deleted. Along with the 48 seconds of cut footage, the film was supposed to end with Pamela Voorhees' head opening up her eyes and smiling towards the camera. However, the director, Stephen Miner, removed the scene out of the final film, as he never seriously considered it for the film's actual ending. To this day, that footage of this alternate ending has yet to be released, with Paramount stating that all of this cut footage has been lost over the years.
Adrienne King returning to play Alice.
For years, the explanation was Adrienne King requested Alice be on screen for as little as possible because the success of the first film had earned her a stalker. King's stalker actually befriended her, with her only realizing he was actually her stalker around the time he pulled a gun and held it to her head. She managed to talk him down, saving her own life. Considering all that, it's understandable for King to have requested a reduced schedule on the film, but she didn't specifically ask that Alice be killed.
I had someone who came into my life, a very bizarre situation. It was a person who was obsessed.
She claims she didn't even find out about the character's death until she arrived on set to film it. Ron Kurz claims Alice was actually killed because King's agent demanded too much money.
Betsy Palmer doesn't remember being in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Betsy Palmer was very surprised to be asked back for a cameo appearance by director Steve Miner, as she assumed that Jason was dead. She filmed her lines in half a day, and a new mock-up of her head was created by the makeup effects team. She had claimed that she'd never even seen the final film itself. At a horror convention in Cherry Hill, New Jersey in 2003, Betsy Palmer said she had never appeared in another Friday the 13th movie after the first one. Palmer was in Los Angeles at the time the Part 2 was filming in Connecticut. She was hired for just one day and filmed all of her scenes in front of a black screen. So I guess it's easy to see why she forgot about appearing in this movie.
Where was it actually filmed?
Crystal Lake is played by North Spectacle Lake in the town of Kent, Connecticut, and most of the rest of the movie is filmed in the area. Packanack Lodge is the centerpiece of the film, was a 95-year-old hunting lodge and used to be found at 164 Kenmont Road. The property has since been torn down and is now a private residence.
Hey guys, it's Amy, and here are a few other quick horror facts about Friday the 13th, Part 2. In the opening scene in which Jason is crossing the street to get to Alice's house, Jason is being played by none other than a woman. Ellen Lutter was the film's costume designer and the only woman in the history of Jason Voorhees to don the mantle of the notorious serial killer. During the scene where Jason is chasing Ginny and she jumps out of the woods, Steve Dash ended up falling on the pickaxe and broke his ribs. Another time in the movie, he was completely knocked unconscious. Later, during Ginny and Jason's big showdown, there is a moment when she brings a machete down on Jason's pickaxe. Unfortunately for Dash, the machete came down on his finger and he had to go to the emergency room. The accident had gotten him 13 stitches. Jason was the original name for this movie. Scott is the first victim of Jason to be killed with a signature machete. If you liked this video or found out something new about Friday the 13th, Part 2, please give us a like and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Ringing the bell will turn on notifications so that you can get updates on all of our new content and giveaways. A few lucky winners will receive a Gorehounds of Horror mystery box once this channel hits 500 subs, so be sure to be an active member and increase your chances of winning. As always, thanks for watching.